In this video, we're going to actually create a mail merge letter. The plan is we want to get a celebrity to come to our campus. And the strategy is we're going to send the letter to several different celebrities, and we're going to repeat the process until one of them responds. Well, we need some data files. So if you go and download these files, you use the shortcuts, and that should work pretty well, or click on the links in the description of this video. When you download from my Box account, this thing pops up here. It's just trying to get you to sign up for a Box account, which is actually a good thing. But for now, we're just going to click X here to ignore it. Okay, now we've downloaded 3 files. If you're using Chrome, you should have 3 buttons down here to indicate the 3 files. And let's take a look at them. I'm here in the Downloads folder, and I'm going to look at the Sample Celebrities file. I'm going to click on the Enable Editing button so we can have more fun with it. And you can see it's just a table of addresses of fairly well-known celebrities. One thing to be aware of, though, is that if these zip codes here work pretty well in Excel as long as the first digit is not 0. If, for example, in our area we have zip codes that begin with 0, watch what happens. Okay, I'm going to change this to a local area code, and you notice the leading 0 disappears. That's because Excel thinks that this is a number, and therefore we don't need a leading 0 in a number, so it just ignores it. Well, we do need it, and actually zip codes are not really numbers, they're more like codes, so we should treat them a little differently. One way to do that is to precede the number by typing an apostrophe. That indicates to Excel that the rest of the thing you're typing is text and not a number. And as you can see, it puts it on the left side of the cell, indicating that it is text, which is fine. It doesn't make any difference as far as the zip code is concerned. So we can leave it there as such. But that's not the right zip code. So I'm just going to undo that. Control Z. There we go, back to the original zip code. Okay, and just to be aware, certain requirements in a list here, we need to have the first row of the spreadsheet as the column headers. And then we can have as many rows as we want. And if you want to add some celebrities here, you can just go down here and add some to the table. Okay, we're not going to make any changes there, so we're just going to click on X to close it down. We didn't really make any changes, so I'm going to click on Don't Save. Now we'll take a look at the letter here. We'll double click on this. Here's our letter. We'll click on Enable Editing again. And it looks okay. Let's zoom in so we can see it a little better. Let's zoom in to about 150%. And you can see we've got some things here. And let's fix this up. First of all, let's put our name here. I'll put my name, you put yours. There we go. And we've got too much space here between these lines, so let's select the first 2 lines of this group, and we'll get rid of the space after each of the paragraphs. So we'll click on Layout, and right here, the spacing after it's 10 points. That's the regular default space, so we'll just reduce that down to 0. That's much better. Closed up. Okay. And we'll skip a blank paragraph, and right here we want to put in the date. And let's go up here, click on Insert. Over on the right side, there's a button there for date. Click on that, and there are 17 different formats. Let's choose the 3rd one right there. We'll click on. Now, normally this Update Automatically checkbox is not checked, but here we're going to be sending this letter over and over again each month or so. So we'll leave that in there as checked so that it will automatically put the new date in. So tomorrow we'll put in another date, in January we'll put another date. So it's going to update automatically for us, which is nice. We'll click OK. Good, there's the date. And now if I click here, you can see it's grayed out, which means it's a field. That means that that means Word is going to change that as conditions change. Okay, we're going to skip another blank paragraph, and this is where the inside address is going to be. It's going to be a lot bigger than one paragraph, but we'll put it right there. The next line will be the greeting line, and we'll take care of that a little bit later. And then we'll go down here. You can see we've got some space here for a table. Before we do that, let's fix the name down here. This would be embarrassing if we left that open there like that. So I'm going to put in my name again. There we go. And we leave, again, space for a signature to go there. Now, what you might do to speed things up, you could take a picture of your signature, trim it down, and then insert the picture there so it looks like your signature is right in the document. And that would save a lot of time. But right now, we'll just leave it blank. We'll fill it in with a pen when we actually print these out. Okay, now here we have in this paragraph here, it says, as you can see in the chart below. Well, there is no chart there, but we're going to add it in. This is a chart to indicate the tuition for colleges in the area, showing how Norwalk is way below everybody else. What we're going to do is click here just to indicate the space where we want this chart to appear. And then we'll go down here and click on the File Explorer. And we want to open this file here. This is the third file we download, which is a tuition comparison, like spreadsheet. So we can just double click on that. Okay, we'll click on Enable Editing again. There it is. There's our table right there. So we'll just select it. We'll click right in the middle of this cell A3, hold the mouse button down, and just select all the cells in the table, like so. That's pretty good. And then what we want to do is copy it. So I'll just do Control-C. And I'll go back into my Word file. Okay, I put my pointer right here. And now I want to paste it. And there are several different ways you can paste something from Excel into a Word document. And let me show you that. Let me click on the Home tab. And under Paste, we have the button here for Paste Options. We click on that. There's a bunch of different choices here. And if we just rest our pointer on the first option, you can see what that looks like. Basically, it keeps the source formatting and brings it into the Word document. If I rest the pointer on the next one, it says, okay, it uses the destination style, which is a little more boring. The next one here is using the source formatting, but it's linking it. So if the tuition changes in the underlying spreadsheet, it'll change here as well. And the same thing here, it's linked, but this time it's using the destination style there, which is a little more sedate. And then here, this would be just a picture. If you want just something very simple where you're not going to change it or anything, you can choose that. And if you just want to put the text in here and you're going to create your own table here, you would do that. Okay, well, the best option for here would be one of these two linked files. Just in case anything changes, it'll be updated automatically. And we don't want to get too fancy here with the with that table here. So I'm going to go here, click on this one here just to be a little more restrained. Okay, it looks pretty nice. Let's center this. I'm going to, if I have my Show Hide button on, I have this little button here. It goes right here. And that basically lets me move the table. I can select it and move it manually, or just go up here, click in the paragraph group, this center button, which will centers it automatically. Now what I want to do here is center this column. So I'm going to select all of the cells in that column. And you notice the other cells are grayed out too, which is fine. We'll just have to go with that. It seems like a little bug. And we'll center it. Click on the center button here. That's nice. That looks good there. And you can see if you look at the data that the Nora Community College is way lower than all the other colleges in the area. Okay, good. We have a little too much space between the text and our table here. So let's trim it down a little bit. First, we don't need that paragraph mark. I'm going to click in front of the paragraph mark, hit the backspace, and bring it up. That gets rid of that. And same thing here. Click in front of that O and backspace that. That's good. Ooh, this too little space here. What I'm going to do is insert some space before this paragraph. So click someplace in the paragraph, go up here again to the Layout tab. You notice there's no space before the paragraph, so I'm going to increase some. I'm going to increase that to 6 points and 12 points. And up here we have 10 points after that paragraph, which is good. Let's actually make this one 10 points as well. So click in this paragraph, the one that begins, of course, and it says 12 points. Let's change that to 10 to match the one above it. Yeah, it's a little bit, but it makes it a little more equal there. Okay, that's pretty nice. Okay, the rest of the letter looks pretty good. Now, if you're actually going to create a letter like this, you probably want to change the text. You may not want to put the table in here. I put the table in here just to basically to show you how to insert a table from an Excel spreadsheet into a Word document. You may not want to do that in this particular case, but in any case, it's your letter. You can do what you want on it. But what we have to do now is we have to put in the inside address and the greeting line here. And to do that, we need to go up to the Mailings tab. Okay, click on the Mailings tab, and there's a bunch of buttons here that relate to Mail Merge. But the easiest thing to do here is click this button here, Start Mail Merge. Click Start Mail Merge, and it gives you a bunch of options here: letters, email, envelopes, labels, directory. But the easiest thing is to take advantage of the wizard. In fact, anytime you see the wizard somewhere, use that. It makes the process a lot easier. Okay, the wizard appears up on the right side here. And again, you can choose which one step you want. Letters is fine, so I'm going to keep that and then go on to the next step. You notice there are 6 steps. The second step here is which document should we use? Well, we're using the current document, so that's fine. We'll go on to the next step. We're just zipping through these steps. Okay, the third step is you want to tell Word where you get the addresses for this document. Well, we're using an existing list, so then we'll go here, click on Browse, and we'll just have to tell Word where the file is located. So we'll go here, and it goes to a place called My Data Sources. Of course, there's nothing there. What we want to do is, where is it? It's in the Downloads folder. So we'll click on Downloads, And there it is there. Okay, this is simple celebs right there. So we can just double click on that. Comes up. Now there's only one worksheet here. This is where you can choose which worksheet. There's only one. So if it was smart, it would just skip through this, but it's not that smart. So we have to say, okay. And it comes like that. And it gives it there's the 5 rows. Okay, let's make this a little bigger so you can see more of it. Here it goes. Zoom it out. And you can see each of the columns here, or fields, are listed here. And we have check marks here. We can choose who we want to put in there just by checking it. Or we can filter it. These buttons here in the top are filters. If we say, for example, we only want to put the people from California, we can click on that arrow and choose CA. Now, only the Californians are there. If we want to get them all back, all. If we want to just use the New Yorkers, we'll click on that. So we can filter our table and see which ones we want to do. I'll put all back there. And another thing we can do is we can sort this. And one thing you might want to do is sort by zip code. Now we only have 5 here, so we don't have that many. But if you had 500, you could get a fairly significant discount from the post office for postage if you could put your messages in order by zip code. So, and that's easy to do here. All we need to do is click the arrow here and choose sort ascending, and now our messages, our letters are going to be in order of zip code. Okay, so that's fine. We'll just click OK. All right, here we go. Now we've chosen it, and what we want to do is go on to the next step. Okay, we finished the 3rd step, go on to the 4th step, and this is basically where we write a letter. Well, the letter's pretty much all written, but we need to put in our special field codes for the information from the table to go into our document. Now, you can click on this address block here, but it puts it into a format that's a little difficult to use. So we'll create it by hand, which is actually a good thing to do because we'll learn how to do it. All right, so we go here. There's a button right here. Now, there's 2 parts of it, the top part and the bottom part. The bottom part is actually more useful. So if we click on that, it shows you all of the different fields or columns. And we're going to do the first line of the inside address, which is title. And then we want to do a space. And then we want to go here, click again for the first name, another space, and then finally the last name. Okay, and that's all for the first line of the inside address. Hit the Enter key, go on to the next line. The next line is just the company name, so we'll put in that. Hit the Enter key again. And you can see we have little field codes here with the strange little symbols. We'll go here. The 3rd line is going to be the street address, which in this is called address 1. Okay, hit the Enter key again, and the last line is going to be city, state, zip. So we'll click on this. We'll go to city, comma, space, state, space, zip. There we go. Okay, now we want to do the, let's fix this up here a little bit. We want to get rid of the space between these lines. So I'm going to just select these first 3 lines, and again, go up to the Layout tab. Just get rid of the space after each paragraph. Click that down to 0. Much better, much better. Okay, let's do a greeting line or salutation. That's going to start off with the word dear, space, and then what we want to do is, this is a formal letter. Normally, if it's if you know the person really well, you would just say first name, but we don't know these folks, so we're going to say Mr. or Ms. last name. Okay, so we'll go up here and go back into our mailings, and we're going to hit the bottom button of the Insert Merge field. We'll do title, space, and then the last name. Okay, so dear, title, last. And then we have to put some punctuation here. Now, if it's an informal letter, you put a comma after the reading. But for business, you always put a colon. So we'll put a colon in there. There we go. Just the 2 dots. Okay, it looks pretty good. Well, if you like field codes, it looks good. Let's see what it looks like in real life. Let's go up here and go to the next step. Okay, step number 5. And here we get to see what it actually looks like. And there's some buttons right here. You can go to recipient 2, recipient 3. Wow, look at that. And you can see, wow, isn't that amazing? It just replaces all those codes with actual data. Really nice. And you can see up here in the tab, we can also do the same things up here. Okay, good. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. I think we've got something here. So now we'll go on to the next step. Click on the next step. By the way, if you make a mistake, you can always go back to the previous step if you need to. But we're doing pretty well. So we'll just go on to the next step, step number 6. And then you have 2 choices here. You can print it. If you feel lucky, you can print all 5 things, print all 5 letters. Or you can take a look at them more closely. Click on the button here, Edit Individual Letters. It's like, here we go. And you can choose, well, do you want to do them all? Of course, well, we selected them before, so we are going to do them all. And then we go here, and we can, now you see we created this new document. New document called Letters 1. This is just a temporary document with all the letters to be printed. And if we just scroll through here, and if you want to see a better look, we can turn off Show Hide to see what it actually look like. It looks pretty nice. Looks pretty nice, pretty nice, pretty nice, pretty good. And you can see we have one letter after the other. So this gives a way to look and make sure everything's okay. And it also gives you a chance to customize a particular letter. Say, for example, Ms. Lady Gaga. You know, maybe the Ms. title there looks a little strange there with Lady. I don't know what her preferred title is, but let's remove it. Okay, just remove it. There we go, Lady Gaga. And I, normally, find out what her real name is and use that, but we don't know that, so we'll just get rid of that. And we'll get rid of this Ms. here and replace it with Lady there, Lady Y. There we go. Okay, so we can format, we can change it, and we can also make other changes here. Like say, for example, say Lady Gaga is our favorite singer. We can actually customize this letter, and we could say, please ask you for a favor. Like say, may I please ask my favorite singer for a favor. Okay, and you can also, put something in here. Say, if you happen to see her concert at Madison Square Garden back last year sometime, put a little note in there. Okay, and you can customize it so it make it very hard for whoever receives this to know whether it's a form letter or an actual customized letter just for her. Okay, good. So that looks pretty nice. And then if you're ready to do it, we can just print it out. Now, I'm not going to print it out now, but all you need to do is to click on File, Print, and you can print this out really fine. Now, again, this is a temporary thing. We can reproduce this anytime we want by just doing another merge. A very simple operation. So I don't need to do this to look at this anymore. I'm just going to click here to close it down. And no, I'm not going to save it. I can always reproduce it real quickly. But this file here, this is the one that created all those merged letters. This is very important. So I do want to save this one. So I'm going to go up here, click on File, click on Save As, and go here, click on the Browse button down at the bottom. Now I definitely want to put this into the Documents folder. So I'll click on Documents, and I'll put my name right in front of that, the E8. And the dash, there we go, there we go, looks pretty nice. And we'll just click on the Save button to save it. And we'll just, we already have one copy there, so I'll just save it again. Good. All right, so that's good. Now this, again, this is the thing that we use to create all those other things. And if we ever want to do it again, we've got this button right here. We can skip the wizard. Now that we've gone through the process of creating this little file, we can skip it and just go right here to Finish Merge, and that'll do the same thing we did before. Okay, we're finished with this. We did all 6 steps. We can close this down here, and we're all set. Okay, and let's just save it again, just make sure everything's okay. Okay, so next we'll go and review what we talked about today.